So there are a series of questions that you'd have to answer when you're filling up the form. The first set is your personal information. Now see, what happens is that when you go to write CFA exams, you would be given an exam ticket, and along with that you are expected to carry your passport to the centers. So those proctors, they would check the information on your passport and they would check the information on your personal ticket. So there should not be any discrepancy in the name that you're writing there and the name that is there on your passport. Okay, generally the issue happens if you have anyone in the class from South India, okay, because the middle names at times could be a little bit difficult to comprehend. So just be careful on that front. Right, fill in your personal information exactly as what you have on your passport. Okay, so that's one. Second, your passport number should be accurate. Third, the passport expiry date. So basic information, be careful there. We've had cases in the past where a night before the exam people realized, oh, my name is not matching as per the passport, right? And in the night when we were in Mumbai, we sent mail to CFA Institute, and early in the morning we received reply. We took a revised printout and he wrote the exam. So we don't want that excitement a day before. So please make sure that the details are correct. This is first. Second thing that you need to be careful with is the professional conduct questions. Okay, so there would be a series of questions that would be asked. I remember a few of them, whether have you been imprisoned for any security related offense, or those kind of questions. So like generally in most of the cases the answer should be no, but you be careful. Okay, again I have seen a case in the past where one of the candidate mistakenly said answer as yes. Okay, he hadn't done anything like that, but he said yes, and then his examination was kept on hold, and then we took some time to figure out what had gone wrong. So don't do that. Be extremely careful while you fill up your form. The third thing is experience details. Okay, so basically there would be a series of questionnaires which would be asked related to your experience, and in CFA Institute form there is a database where they almost have every possible company. Okay, so when you put details, the company would be identified automatically, and then you select that. So when you do that, make sure that you write a true representation of what you've done in the past. Okay, because this data would be useful later on when you apply for your CFA charter. Okay, so wherever you have worked and whatever your experience, write that in a perfect fashion. And then the fourth thing that when you come to the payment section. Okay, so when you make payments, most of us would be selecting the ebooks bundle. Okay, so you get choice, either you take a ebook bundle or you take a printed book. So I would recommend ebook because we would be studying with the soft copies itself. So with payments there are two choices. One is a credit card, or second we make a SWIFT transfer. Okay. Now if you have a credit card, just click there, put in your details, and before you know, the payment is gone. Okay, so most of the people give me a call asking, sir, it never asked me for my CVV codes, or it never asked a password. It doesn't ask that. Okay, the moment you put your credit card details, expiry date, and just say pay, automatically the payment is done. So if that happens, don't call me asking, just be assured that your payment is done. If you don't have a credit card, or if your relatives or if your friends do not have a credit card, you can use anyone's you want. Then you use the SWIFT transfer. Now the process for SWIFT transfer is that on the last page, on the right hand side section, it would say, what does it say, Pratik? Reports. So there's a drop down, it says reports. So when you click on the drop down, the third or fourth item is generate invoice. I think the second or third item. So generate the invoice, it's a PDF file. Once you have the invoice, then attach that invoice in a mail and write a mail to info@cfainstitute.org. Tell them that you have enrolled and you want to make a SWIFT transfer, and ask them for the bank account details. Okay, so step number one is to generate invoice. Step number two is to write them a mail and tell them that you have generated invoice, and ask them for details in this mail in terms of what are the bank account details and everything. Then step number three is go to your bank. Preferably you should go to that branch where you have an account. Okay, so all the banks, almost all the banks process SWIFT transfers. Go to them. When you go to bank, carry two things with you. One is your invoice, and second, a printout of the mail which is replied back to you by CFA Institute, because this will have all the bank account details. So go to them and you tell them that you want to make a SWIFT transfer. What they would do is they would ask you for a check of your account, or even a slip would do if you go into same branch, and then that SWIFT transfer would be processed. What you would get in return is a SWIFT copy. Okay, in most of the cases you would get it the same day or maybe in the subsequent day. Once you've received this SWIFT copy, take a scan copy of this, scan this, and again write a mail, reply to the same mail that you would send to CFA Institute saying that you've made the payment, and request them to confirm. Okay, so maybe they would take a week's time, they would confirm the payment, and then your process is done. Are we okay with this? Do you want to ask any questions here?